If you're using eBay standard envelope to ship your postcards, don't do this. Hey guys, Ken here. Welcome back to the channel. Well, I've made a little more progress on the video that you see. I went in yesterday and had to figure out how to change the aspect ratio on the video frame because under the new OBS system, the update, it was defaulting it at a 4:3 ratio, which is pretty much a square frame, which is what I didn't want because YouTube wants a 16:9 frame. They want a 2:3 ratio. So I had to figure out how to do that, and fortunately I came across a YouTube video that was done 3 years ago that explained exactly how to do it, and I fixed it. So now I've got a little more room here to breathe. But anyway, that's not why I wanted to do this video. I wanted to do this video just to share with you something about eBay standard envelope, something that you might want to be aware of and not do if you're using eBay standard envelope. I want you to notice something. See how thick this is? Look how thick that is. Okay. One of the constraints or rules of the eBay standard envelope is that it's not supposed to be over a quarter of an inch thick, because the reason for that is it has to go through their high-speed machines, their sorting machines through the post office. And if it's too thick and it's too rigid, which this is very rigid and can't hardly bend it at all, and it has to be very bendable because, I'm sure along the track somewhere, when it's going through the high-speed machines, it has to turn a corner. And if it's really thick and stiff and rigid, it won't do that. It'll just jam up the machine, and then it'll back up everything, or maybe get knocked off on the floor. And, that's one thing that I noticed. Okay, another rule with eBay standard envelope is you're not supposed to put in more than like 3 cards. For that reason, because of the weight and because of the stiffness, it's got to be bendable and all that. There's just no, I'm amazed that this actually was able to go through the eBay standard envelope system without getting flagged. Okay, another thing is the weight. That's another constraint. The eBay standard envelope system says that it can't be over 3 ounces. I put it on my digital scale over my office desk, and it came to 3.2 ounces. And my scale is accurate. So technically went over the 3 ounce limit, max limit. It's too stiff, and it's really, really rigid, when really you're supposed to only put 3. Now, I know some of you guys put up to 5, and the main thing is it can't go over the weight. But like I said, this went to 3.2 ounces. And, I just thank God that it got here. Because what would have normally happened is somebody at the post office actually could have seen this and said, this can't go letter mail. It's too thick. They're going to pull out their little guide. I'm going to try to drop it through there. And as you can see, I'm not putting any weight here on this. And it's not going through, which means it's too thick for just regular letter mail. And which means it should have been rated at first class parcel package, which means this could have shown up, with about $4 or $5 postage due on it. And that's something you don't want to happen. Now, I've had that happen in the past. A little while ago, I shipped, I think, 1 card, and for some reason, somebody at the post office flagged it as being too thick. It wasn't. It wasn't over a quarter of an inch thick. It was only 1/8 of an inch thick, and I proved that through the little guide that I used. And it wasn't, it was perfect within the weight and the size. Now, the only thing that this actually fits as far as the rules is the size, because this is in a 4x6 envelope. But the thing is, the thickness, way too thick. This is definitely over a quarter of an inch. The weight is over 3 ounces, which means technically there isn't enough postage on this. But I think the only reason this got through is because somebody at the post office didn't catch it. Okay. And I know they get a ton of mail. So somebody just didn't, catch this, and it got through. Now, I thank God that it made it, because like I said, I would have been I wouldn't have been too happy if I had got this and it had like $4 or $5 postage due on it. And they usually put a stamp on it and it says, you know, postage due, and they'll say the amount, because they would have re-rated this as a first class parcel package rather than letter mail. Okay, so I wanted to do this video just to caution you, because this could have easily gotten flagged, you know, because of the weight, because of the thickness. You know, obviously the post office doesn't know how many cards are in here, which, you know, violated that, because you're really not supposed to put that many cards in. But the thing is, you know, if you're sending cards through eBay Standard Envelope, please don't take the risk and try to hope that if you send something like this through, it's going to go through with no problem and it's going to get to your buyer and they're going to be happy. More times than not, this would usually get flagged and it would get re-rated at first class parcel package rate, which is about between $4 and $5, around $4.50, you know, somewhere in around there. And then what's going to happen is your buyer is going to get hit with a postage due. And in the case, what happened to me, even though it was wrong, you know, it didn't violate any of those things, my buyer refused the shipment and it got sent back to me and I had to refund their money. So if you're using eBay Standard Envelope system, please, for the sake of your business, my advice to you is don't send it, you know, with this many cards, and hope then pray that, you know, somebody at the post office won't flag this and re-rate it and then hit your buyer with a postage due. Now, I know some people will say, well, you know, I've done it that way all the time and nothing's ever happened. Well, my opinion, and it's just my opinion, it hasn't happened yet. Okay, they just haven't caught it, because, you know, they get busy and they get a ton of mail and everything, and sometimes, you know, something like this will get through. Like in this case, it did. But technically, this is a first class package and it was over the weight limit. You know, the weight limit is 3 ounces and this was 3.2 ounces, you know, on my scale. In my scale, I know I've calibrated it and it's accurate. So please, my advice to you is, if you use eBay Standard Envelope, please don't do it this way, because you could be looking for a refund, looking for a place to happen. Because if your buyer gets that and he gets hit with a $4 or $5 postage due, they are not going to be happy, and they're going to probably leave you negative feedback, you know, because they're going to believe that you should have known better to send this and not put enough postage on it. I would advise you just err on the side of caution. So I just wanted to pass that on to you. And as always, if you got anything out of this video, you know what to do. Smash that like button. Helps the channel. And I appreciate you guys. I'm going to go. But you guys have a great day. And we'll see you on the next video. Take care and bye for now.